Hello YouTube, this is Randy with Eastgate for Old School, and in this video I want to do a modification to the video that I did last week on DIY performance. It's a little bit of good news as well as bad news, or you can look at it as an update and a correction. I want to show you something that happened to me in my last couple of rides that really explained some things to me that I didn't quite understand before. So that's where the correction comes in. Let's start with the update. On my ride app, so you're looking at the ride that I did that I showed to you last time, where I did 29.2 miles per hour, and I did a distance of 5.8. Well, the very next ride after this, I wanted to test my speed out. I really wanted to know whether or not I could get past 30 miles an hour. So the next ride, I really went for speed, and this was the result. So as you can see here, I went 32.5 miles per hour. And I know the board can actually go even a little bit faster than that, but that's as fast as I wanted to go. That proved to me personally that my DIY build is just as fast as some of the best boards out there. For whatever reason, that 30 miles per hour number is something that I wanted to achieve, and I did that. Notice the distance here is 2.8 miles. Previous ride was 5.8 miles. This ride was 2.8 miles. The reason why it was so short is because my battery ran out completely. Now, if you take 5.8 and add 2.8 to that, you get a whole lot less than the 12 miles I was expecting. And my thinking at the time was that, well, I was riding significantly faster than I usually ride, and I know that that does drain the battery faster, but that was still a pretty fast drain. It took me by surprise. But I chalked it up to, oh, it's just because of the speed. The extra speed drained my battery faster than normal, which is a reasonable assumption. Now, where the lesson comes in is in the next couple of rides. Here's my ride from April 30th. And as you can see there, I went a distance of 4.8 miles. And this was on this ride, I was not trying to ride fast. I was just riding for fun. And you see, I did 27.1 miles per hour. Now, the very next ride was today. I'll show you the video of this ride, and you can see for yourself what happened. Hello, YouTube. Well, I'm going to go on what I consider to be an average ride. I'm not going to try to break any speed records. I'm just going to see how well my battery does when I take a normal ride. So I'll go fast, but not so fast that it's uncomfortable, which for me is going to be, I'll go over 25, but I'll go under 30 most likely. And I'm starting off with my battery at 44.4 volts. So exactly halfway. Yeah, so I'm going to start my ride out. I'll get all my statistics from there. Put this in my pocket and off I go. Wow, look at that. I lost a lot of power very quick. Looks like I'm walking home. So let's see what those numbers look like. Now, I actually didn't save my notes from the last recording that I made, so I had to look at my old recording just to recopy what I did before. So for a quick review, I'm using LiPo batteries. Again, their per cell voltage is 4.2 volts max, 3.7 nominal, and 3.2 volts minimum. So for 12 cells in series, that's 50.4 volts max, 44.4 volts nominal, and 38.4 volts minimum. And what you saw in that video is that I went from 44.4 volts down to 38 point something rather rapidly. And I have to give kudos to my VESC. My VESC is the only thing that prevented me from actually damaging the battery by running it down too fast, because I was not expecting the battery to run out so fast. So the big thing that I learned is that the mileage you get going from 50.4 down to 44.4 is significantly greater than the mileage that you get going from 44.4 down to 0%. So that was a huge lesson that I learned here. And in both the previous case and in this case, my total mileage that I got on my battery, in one case it was 8.6 miles, and the other case was like 8.3 or 8.5 or something like that. In any case, it was consistently around 8 miles and not the 12 miles that I was expecting. So in both cases, on that last ride, I ran out of battery power halfway around the neighborhood and had to walk home carrying my board, feeling salty. Anyway, it was a good lesson learned, and when I take those new numbers that I found out, so this is what it comes out to. Again, my current battery is 5,000 milliamp hours or 222 watt hours. My range formula is watt hours divided by 30 times efficiency. Now, I've determined after some experiments that this number 30 you can think of it as a riding style factor. And this number 30 would be considered a very aggressive riding style factor. I consider myself not the most aggressive rider, but I ride pretty fast still. I'm fairly consistently going over 25 miles an hour. I would consider that fairly fast. Anyway, using that, what I would consider to be a very aggressive riding style factor of 30, you would expect to get 6.7 miles out of my current batteries and 26.6 miles out of the big batteries that I've ordered and still have not received. I calculated what I would consider to be a factor that is more consistent for my riding style, which I would call a cruiser. And I'm using a cruiser factor of 24. So when I take those 222 watt hours divided by 24, multiplied by 0.9, it comes out to 8.325 miles, which is very consistent with what I've gotten actually the last 4 rides, given 2 rides per battery charge. And using this same cruiser factor, it would indicate that with the bigger battery that's on the way, with 888 watt hours, divide that by 24, multiply times 0.9, it gives me 33.3 miles. Now that's something I can actually believe. I do believe that huge battery will probably give me about that sort of mileage, which is still great. It's not the 50 miles per charge that I was calculating before, which I didn't actually believe, but 33.3 miles on a single charge is fantastic. I absolutely love to experience that. So those are the new numbers. I think these are accurate. I hope you found this to be useful. Please share, like, and subscribe, and I'll give you another update probably when I finally get some components that I'm waiting for my new build. Still waiting on those. I'll give you another update when I get those. Thank you, and be safe out there.